Well, welcome everybody to this masterclass on how to carry on strategist role. This masterclass today is not going to be as nuanced as it was before in terms of all those slides and theory, but I want you to show more practical examples of what I'm talking about. Basically, what I will focus on is how you can carry on strategies through your positioning, through your managing resources, and also just your target priority. That is something what we talked about in our previous masterclass. Just so you guys, for your information, all the masterclass are on the website, and just in case, you can also watch the past drills. There are documents I sent there. You can watch all the recordings in there. All the notes are there as well for with the presentations, and I highly recommend, because all the materials are connected to each other. If you're able to watch the previous masterclasses, it's really nice. It will give you a lot of nuance of what I'm gonna talk about today. So what I wanted to focus on is this idea. Whenever we have someone on support or a strategist role, what you just need to know is this: you need to be able to enable or disable the most active pressure, or let's just say, to simplify it, we need to enable disable activity on the field, and this can be towards your teammates or towards an enemy. It's that simple, but it's simple on the paper. But when we looking at the examples, there are a lot of variables which you need to keep an eye on, and that is what I'm gonna talk about today. And if you guys have any questions, as usual, you can ask those in the chat. I'm gonna have that on my second monitor, and to just discuss those ideas, we'll use two examples. I prepared two good players. I think, in my experience, they're really good at implementing those ideas, just enabling and disabling the activity. And what I want to mention right away is the first thing I usually emphasize is, how do you actually disable the pressure? How do you just able to put the pressure on the enemy by yourself while playing strategist role? Because if you're able to do so, then we forcing out the enemy resources and we make them look at us. We just kind of controlling the map better because of it. We're forcing the action instead of waiting for the enemy to do an action. And that is what a lot of strategists, I think, struggle with. A lot of times they just wait for something to happen, and I think you'd not necessarily have to do that. So regarding that strategy, actually, the how to disable an enemy, I wanted to show you one of the Jeff players. I think they're a pretty high rank player, and at the moment, let me actually pull up the statistics. I just want to show you. Yeah, so this is them on the leaderboard. The player's called Progressive. I like their gameplay. I think the other players are also pretty good up there. I didn't have a chance to watch the second player, but I really like the third one. They're progressive, and to be honest, when we're looking at all the stats, you just want to pay attention not to only the KDA, not only to the just what's there, just where they are on the board, but mostly just pay attention to the hours of the playtime, how many games they got, and I think just watching the gameplay, really, how much value they're able to get out of the character. And I'm gonna use one of the games from Progressive and focus on what they do with their positioning to just make things happen. And this is what a lot of strategies can do. All of those ideas can apply to any of your supports. It's just because you have your defensive resources. Those can allow you to distract an enemy. Those can allow you to kind of be more aggressive on the field. So this is the one game I have right away, something we can watch. And yeah, let's just go back a little. By the way, all the games, all the replays gonna be saved in the notes. You guys can read that and maybe watch the video. I also recorded the full video here if you wanna watch it later, just in case you wanna learn the Jeff or just anything related like the style they are playing and controlling the map. But yeah, by the way, any questions, anything you want me to pay attention to more going forward? Yeah, maybe any questions you got right now about the strategist, just what I just mentioned about enable, disable, doesn't make sense to you guys? Yeah, stuff like that. If there are no questions, we can just move forward. There's no problem. All right, so let's just watch. Let's watch what those guys do, and yeah, we'll comment on that. And remember, this is really a high rank play. And see, what they're trying to do right away is they're looking to set up. They're looking to set up on some sort of angle. And because you have mobility on the Jeff, you're actually able to go really, really deep. And that's what a lot of players don't do. I think with most of the support strategists, you just see them seated in the back line. Yeah, maybe you would just watch somebody play over here, like somebody on Jeff or maybe somebody on Raccoon, and in reality, you don't have to do so. You can just take deeper angles on the map if mobility allows you. The more mobility you have, the more opportunities you have to distract an enemy, and you making them waste resources. And your defensive resources, on the other hand, can allow you to just be more aggressive. So what kind of resources can allow this guy to be more aggressive? Well, it's just opportunity for him to shift underground at any point of time. And also, we able to use the bubbles, and bubbles not only healing your allies, but it's healing you, first of all. And because you healing yourself, you're more in control of what's happening. You're not just relying on the enemy to do the action towards your teammates, or like you're not relying on your teammates to do the action and just be good at hitting those shots, but you're rather just thinking about how you can create value and force things to happen while supporting your team as well. Okay, so I just want you to really see how they position, going really, really deep, and we form this nice off angle, kind of 90 angle on the map. This forces an enemy team to look in two directions, but meanwhile, we're supporting the most active members on our team as well, just looking to heal them up, maybe throw a few bubbles, and you're able to control the space this way. But first, emphasis is on disable an enemy, and we do it through, first of all, through the positioning. See how far deep they go. Why is that possible? Yeah, again, mobility. Mobility is really important. They also have this ability to just do extra. So this here, it freezes, slows down the enemy. I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but anyway, even though you don't have the opportunity to do so, you don't have the team maps or something, you always able to just put the general pressure on the map. Yeah, you always able to do that on any support. Try to just go in and take deeper angles if you have mobility. So that is something what he could have done maybe on Rocket Raccoon as well. You could literally try to take deeper angles. With supports with the less mobility, like on Luna, you would typically try to play closer to your team, but still you can aim to do the same strategy, trying to take the more aggressive angles, so we pull some attention towards us. Okay, so we got them controlling the map really well there, and eventually they just keep supporting the most aggressive member there. Yeah, they just kind of keep pushing the front line over here. So this is the time where once you got big advantage on the map, you can look to take more space, but you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful so you're not over pushing. But since you got enough mobility, like this Jeff player, they got enough mobility, they can kind of push a little bit more. Okay, any questions you got in all of this, by the way? Like just what I mentioned about the angles, the resources, how they're able to manage to pull those resources towards them, or yeah, doesn't make sense.
Are there like when it comes to like Jeff specifically, are you
Mhm.
looking to play off angles on Jeff?
A lot of times, yes, and this is exactly why. Because you have the mobility, you can take deeper angles. Remember, this is general rule for any support player or any player in general. The more mobility you guys have, the deeper angle you can take. And on Jeff, that is something you can utilize 100%. Well, obviously depends. Sometimes depends on situation. So to speak. For example, I have three supports as well. This allows me to take even deeper angles and kind of leave my front line, do something. Just be staying there a little bit, yeah, kind of able to sustain while I'm flanking. But even without those, I think, even without triple support, you're still able to take the angle somewhere, yeah. So you probably still would be able to go the left side, for example, and just keep damaging or healing healing your teammates meanwhile. Yeah, any is it clear or anything else?
I have another question.
Yeah, of course.
So if let's say that you don't have like a solid like secondary or third support, like you're just the main source of healing for your team. Like what can you do in that situation in terms of playing more aggressive with your team?
Yeah. So you would be taking, in a sense, softer angles. So if I'm looking at the first fight over here, for example, let's say I'm solo healing as Jeff, and I'm for some reason I'm just one tweaking Jeff. Okay, then I want to use my mobility. Put the emphasis on disabling the enemy. Yeah, maybe my team goes here from A, and then I disable the enemy from B, for example, taking that slightly softer angle. And I also, meanwhile, just keeping the critical members alive. Yeah, anybody who is going aggressive alive, and yeah, that's how you do it. This is where I think the more playtime you have, the easier it's gonna be. The more intuitive those angles will be for you, really. But I still highly suggest if you're able to, just make sure you set up. Yeah, maybe your team they have the downtime, they're not taking damage. Make sure you set up for the best positions possible when the mobility allows you. Maybe I can get on top of the building. I can go deeper like this guys did and just try to exist there. And this is what we will see these guys doing a lot. They're literally trying to take those deeper angles as much as possible. I think, yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, so now it's just getting the staggers, and we're really just going towards the maybe pushing the rest of the enemy team, and they're still looking for the flank option. And remember, those small things, the bubbles, allow you to stay alive longer. So see how deep they're gonna go, and this is the time you can set up before the fight. I think this might be a little bit too deep, but yeah, if they manage it, if they just go towards the spawn, yeah, I think they can actually stay alive there. Now, it's all about synchronizing the pressure with the rest of your team. When I'm set up, because I want to make sure I pull resources towards me while my team goes in, I want to make sure it's valuable. So if I'm getting pushed, then my team can get value. If it's other way around, yeah, maybe this guy's pushing my team, then I'm able to do damage, and that's completely fine. Of course, on supports with more healing oriented, I think, like maybe Cloak and Dagger, maybe even Invisible Woman. Again, you're not able to take such deep angles, but still, there's really good idea a lot of times. By the way, the next replay we're gonna watch on Invisible Woman, and I have really good player for that. It's so Watch League, yeah. But for now, yeah, we just keep watching the Jeff, pretty much. So they kind of exist on this really deep angle and just looking to shoot the enemy backline a lot and see how much attention it diverts. So what kind of resources we can divert. Maybe it's this Wolverine jump, or maybe we can divert the Bucky to just shoot us, or maybe there can be Luna Snow to just shoot us. How do you live? It's just by managing the cover. Cover is really important there. If you're able to manage it, if you're just able to play around the cover and kind of keep peek shooting, or well, in case of the Jeff, you can even try to shoot and then go underground, then shoot again. I just want to show you this little things they do. See, once these guys are not shooting him, he just kind of keeps applying pressure and even not going underground. But once these guys are applying the pressure towards him, then he kind of goes in between using the shift and pulling out of the ground. This is really It's really impressive. Once, yeah, they receive the pressure, there's a lot of those micros. I think it's gonna be mainly shown in the duels. Once they're in the duel with something, they're gonna be doing this quite frequently. So, for example, there, see how they do it to just dodge stuff? So, if all reinvented us, we don't want to take damage, so I can do this real quick and dodge him, right? This is really, really impressive. And you can also dodge the bullets, you can dodge the projectiles the same way. It just allows you to exist on the angle more. Yeah, your abilities, your defensive abilities is just for that. I highly emphasize. Make sure you take more aggressive. Actually, they almost made it. Okay, so it's like this. They almost made it. And yeah, they pulled out, and then yeah, I think they decided to use the shift again. But yeah, they almost made it. I think they messed up slightly. But yeah, it would be really impressive if they would dodge that fully. That's what I do. Okay, so there's kind of pressure on the Wolverine in addition. Now they're pushing the staggers and going towards the spawn again, while the rest of their team pushing. How much space it creates. It's crazy. All the attention, these guys are looking at him. Now, I think they go a little bit over aggressive. They want to be careful because there's Luna Snow ultimates being used, and I think their team might be pushed back, so there is something they have to keep in mind. Because they're trying to pick out, and this is really what didn't work out there is there's a lot of pressure towards him, kind of multiple angles able to shoot him. So there's a squid right around there, there's a Namor, and I think there's someone else in the back potentially can also shoot them a little bit as well. I don't think they have to peek out that wide. They needed to take it more step by step. I probably understand the reasoning why. Maybe I assume they tried to just regain the tempo, maybe by pressuring the enemy more aggressively because they lost one member there, and plus these guys are using an ultimate, so we need to just extra pressure to sustain, but yeah. Anyway. Jeff, yeah, Jeff is going crazy there. You guys can do that on any support or any role as well, again. It's just such a simple concept, but there are a lot of small details which allows you to do so. So again, over and over and over again, we're gonna look to do the same. But I didn't talk about that as much, right? It's just how do you need to enable the your teammates as well, and it's just all about the most active angle on the map. Whenever I'm watching who I enable, it just can be based on three things. I really look into one is the position of my teammates, how far frontline they are, or what kind of aggressive angle they are taking, and I'm looking to support that. Or it could also be them using cooldowns. If I know, oh, my teammate, they're using cooldowns, so I need to keep an eye on that a little bit more. I really need to make sure I just support them because they are doing the pressure, so I want to make sure they're alive. And another thing, it can be maybe your teammates using ultimates. Yeah, pretty much. If, for example, I know my Star-Lord's using an ultimate, I want to keep an eye on them because I know a lot of pressure will go towards him, but meanwhile, he is applying a lot of pressure too. Is this awkward, Jeff? Is this awkward? I know it's progressive. This is a progressive guy. And yeah, I don't know who is that. I know the other players. I didn't know any of the Jeff players, to be honest, on the leaderboard. I don't know what's Awkward's name as well. So I'm not sure, guys. Because I'm pretty sure Awkward would probably use somewhere like Awkward something. Yeah. Maybe he has Smurfs, but I don't know. Anyway, the high tier Jeff play, this is how it looks like. A lot of the Jeff players exactly do that, just for the reasons I mentioned before. His name is Awkward, yeah. Maybe. It just, somebody took the name. It was the same for me. Somebody took my name, G-Fast, and then I have to type Z at the end. Oh, okay, sorry, I just assumed due to Awkward being top player, he made 100% win rate. To GM and Jeff. Well, that might be the case. Yeah, I think they're really good players as well. They Overwatch player. I've been playing in a lot with them as well in Overwatch. They're insane support player. They started off as Zenyatta. I think mostly been playing Zenyatta, but really good support in general, and they're really good on the other roles too. But yeah, this is more. Let me see the rank. So this is a one above all. Yeah, this is really, really... I don't think it's easy to maintain the rank with this amount of games. 220 games in one above all rank, pretty much for the most part, one-tricking Jeff. This is impressive, I think. This is really impressive. This is another level of play. Okay, so watching him again going on the angle and see how he just solves the bubbles around the map to just allow him to sustain potentially if he's gonna get pushed. I think he is also thinking about the potential rotations where he's gonna go just could kind of stabilize. This bubble is really pretty sad. You see how the bubbles are placed? So if somebody pushes him and he's getting low while shooting, he can just grab the bubble and stay alive meanwhile. His defensive resources allow him to do so again and again. Is he gonna win the duel with Namor? He is gonna do it. One-on-one Namor easy. And now he's gonna push the card. There's another thing you can do sometimes on a high mobility character. And honestly, I almost never, well, sometimes you could see that in a game like Overwatch 2 if you play something like high mobile there, but here the one mobile support you can do that is it's 100% Jeff, and another maybe it could be Rocket Raccoon. This is where you can just kind of play on the card and make sure you pull the attention towards you because of it. I can play objective because I have mobility and I can escape whenever. This is really, really good a lot of times. If I know my teammates, they just want to make it through. But I highly suggest when you know your teammates are taking a fight, you don't just stay on card if you know your teammates, they don't have an advantage. You still want to leave the card later and try to do something there. But for now, it makes sense because their teammates, they have an advantage, so they can use some time to push the card while cutting off those guys completely. This is what's called pincer. I'm pincering them from behind while the rest of my team is pushing over there. And see how they just trying to kind of balance between shooting and going underground, living. That's really, really impressive. Okay, now the fight is over. We can look to push up, but most importantly, set up again. Okay. Let's see where they're gonna be, where they're gonna go. Yeah, most likely, again, more flanky options. Their team is also taking an angle on the left side with Wolverine, also holding top there. That's good. Yeah, they probably will try to exist on this right side a little bit more, because this just gives them opportunity to turn the enemy attention around completely, kind of do this 180 turn. Set up bubbles for ult. Yeah, well, first of all, it's really, yeah, you can do different things. I think you can do different things with the bubbles, but overall, it's just, first of all, to make sure you live. Make sure you live on the angle, and it's such, again, I will mention again, it's such a big strategy. I'm not just throwing the healing towards my teammates, but I can also force the action towards me and exist on the angle. That is huge a lot of times. Well, you can also throw the healing towards your teammates too, but that should be your second priority in my opinion. If you're solo queuing, you're gonna use the bubble for speed boost at that side and speed them over the edge. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this makes total sense. Again, the bubbles to set up something, and you can also live if you get pushed, I think. You're just kind of anticipating what my rotation's gonna be later. I think this is nice. As I'll kind of just, again, getting pressured, have the bubble, go on the ground, maybe grab HP pack as well, have an extra speed boost, obviously, too. And this does so nice to pressure. And see, I've wanted to see how they use cover as well. They're not just staying out in the open. They're always choosing their duels and trying to isolate somebody. So this guy over here is trying to pressure me. Let's just call it angle A. While angle B will have some trouble shooting me. They will have to peek this window. Maybe not ideal, yes, but still at least we're trying to isolate this duel A here. Maybe later we can try to go even deeper on the left, so we're only able to just be exposed to the window all the time. One angle at a time is the rule you can use whenever. You could actually, yeah, you could just kind of push a little bit more forward and cut off this guy on the left too. Yeah, anybody on the left side. Okay, dealing with Namor, sure. Just need to deal with those turrets. Turrets are pretty annoying, I think, for sure. If you have high mobility on the character, you need to also deal with the turrets somehow. It's either be out of line of sight or just kind of destroy them there. You can use the bubble. Oh, he alive, he had 6 bubbles, can just throw 2 for a setup. Possibly... Oh, you've been talking about the previous time? Not sure, actually. Yeah, when was that? I think mostly I think they've been doing okay. You know what I'm thinking? You still need to have some of your bubbles, 2, 3 bubbles, just in case you're gonna get pushed. So some of the bubbles for setup, sure. I can kind of anticipate where the fight is gonna be. It requires really good game sense, but most of your bubbles is just kind of there to make sure you are able to stay alive. 2, 3 at least. It's my opinion. It's kind of on any other mobile character. I want to have my resources, most of my resources, just in case I take a duel. Like on Rocket Raccoon, you would like to have your dash, for example. Like to have your 2 dashes. Okay. Now they just go in Wiz ult, and they decide to ult for the tempo. I think now it's 4v5, so the tempo is a little bit not on their side, even though they're using the Wiz ult. It's just something, yeah, like their ultimate allows them to regain the tempo. If they get 2 people there, they 100% should have a higher tempo and be able to have an advantage, but yeah. Let's see. So they get 3 people. They get 3 people, actually, and just spitting them off. Yeah, the Doctor Strange can try to stay alive, though, because of the shift. Wait, what happened? Oh, that was the dash. They get dashed off the map. That's unfortunate. That is something you can dodge, though. If you're aware of that, that is something you can dodge with your shift. But they did already a pretty decent job, yeah. Yeah, the ultimate's definitely been alright for the most part. Is it saving his ult? Let me read the question. Is it saving his ult to ult the people who group up on Luna ult? I don't think so necessarily, because okay, you a lot of times, so especially with Luna, right? Especially with the Luna, when they do something, it means, if they're using the Luna ultimate, it means your teammates will kite a lot of times. I think if you it's a possibility for you to kite, you don't necessarily have to do anything. And also you cannot eat Luna, right? So I'm not sure if you're able to catch them, the others, well, maybe. But I think it's not the easiest too, unless you're playing in the choke. I think they just set up those pretty okay ultimate in that space over there. It's kind of just you usually want to have some sort of tight space as well. Whenever you have this AoE, kind of the big ultimate, if they're in a tight space somewhere, maybe to just try to cut off their defense rotation, they can look to use their ultimate, I think. Okay, let's maybe watch just one more, maybe defense, and then we'll watch the second player. I just will show you the Cypher on the Wiz Woman as well. We'll talk about how do they enable and disable stuff. Okay, so right away, let me see what they do at the start. By the way, the early pressure, they probably ask for the bubble there, yeah, for the shield. But first of all, early pressure, yeah, you need to farm your ultimate. Maybe you can just try to do some extra early pressure on the enemy. And later, we can set up. But they're using their mobility because they have it. They can instantly go on the angle somewhere to the right while their team is attacking to the left. So that would look like something like their team is on the point. Let me just create the angle from here. Your team would be creating the angle from here while you create the angle from B, for example. Or you could just try to maybe go one deeper. If your team is pushing you, by the way, you see those preset bubbles too? Just in case I'm getting pushed, so they anticipate they're gonna be playing this side probably. This is really nice. And they regain the bubbles meanwhile. Yeah, they place the bubble, they regain 6. There's also another bubble, right? Let me see. Yeah, right there. 2 bubbles over here. 1 bubble over there. And there's another one? Yeah, I think that's it. If you look at it from the bigger picture, they're running to support, so it gives the Jeff more options. Exactly. because you have C supports, you have more freedom. Because you have C supports able to do so. But I really want to say, if you wouldn't have C supports, you still need to do more proactive stuff on the map if you're able to. A lot of supports, they kind of just, I think, staying passively, where they could take an angle or they could just abuse the fact they have their defensive resources and open up the sideline. You have to do that. You really need to do that as much as possible. Let me see what else you mentioned. Let's talk the backline. So his ult would be good to be saved for a bigger save, right? Oh, the question. Okay, so his ult would be good to be saved for a bigger save. Are you talking about the ultimates, or you can specify? Yeah. What do you mean exactly? So to be saved for a bigger save, you're talking about the
Yeah.
support ultimates. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about like when the best time to actually use your alt is from a support standpoint because there's two other supports, right? It would
Mhm.
be like because the way he saved it, but then when he used it, it brought so much value because he got rid of their tank. He got rid of like the two other supports that or the two other players that were getting him like
Oh yeah.
giving him trouble, right? So that's what I was asking that since there are two other supports that are running um their ultimates as well, wouldn't it be isn't that the best call that he just kind of holds on to it just in case for like that moment where they are losing ground and he can
Uh,
come in and try to save
yeah,
it.
yeah, makes sense. Okay, it makes sense in a game where you know the players. Like I'm saying it as a player myself. If I'm playing in a lobby, I know every guy there. I think probably yes, that is how I would play. If you guys, any of you have Overwatch background, there's been meta called goats, and we had 3 supports, 3 tank as well. And yes, you a lot of times will need to coordinate what ultimates we use in what order. But a lot of times in solo queue, if I'm just solo queuing, I don't know the players. I think I would just rather find a way to use my ultimate first. It's just solo queue mindset because this way I can get my ultimate back later and I don't have rely because I don't know if this guy is gonna do something with the ultimate. I don't know if this is gonna happen, so I wouldn't hold. But if I know those guys, maybe I'm screaming as well. Yeah, it makes sense. I think the biggest picture makes sense. It's just the general advice is, yeah, the most useful advice for solo queue. I wouldn't hold if I know I could bring greater value. I don't think actually, even from solo queue standpoint, when they were been holding on ultimate, I don't think they've been too good opportunities for them to use ultimates. But once they got it, yeah, once they need to turn around the tempo, I think there was perfect opportunity. But yeah, it could be the case. Like this additional layer, yeah, you can actually try to just have this as a. I think then is another option. Kind of, there are ultimates there for sure. They're stronger. I think you can try to maybe open up with those a little bit more. But yeah, it depends. Solo queue. I think this is a really based on the mindset where what kind of games I'm in. Let me see. The 2 bubbles to the side look like the setup they did last time when he ult at the end of the last match. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And now they're also supporting, guys. I mentioned that you need to support as well. You need to support the most active angle in your team. You need to enable that. And what that angle would be. You see that? So we have multiple people. Okay, so this Wolverine guy was also using a shift. Right, so I have this angle here. I have this angle over there. Those guys are the most active based on their position. And because why they're the most active, because it's just they can see a lot, there's a good line of sight, they're able to apply active rush as well, so I need to pay extra attention to them while also shooting the guys. Yeah, it's just kind of, you need to do both. You need to do first shooting, second enable the guys too. So see, there's a lot of, when there's a downtime, this guy's out, I'm shooting, so maybe this guy needs help later. If he gets pressured, I can also heal him. They don't have line of sight because they dropped. I think they thought, okay, this is receiving a little more pressure because there's another Wolverine, they're using abilities, so kind of can have those check marks, okay? So first check mark is position. Okay, what kind of position we got on the character? Another check mark could be cooldowns. Are those being used or not? And another check mark could also be ultimates. If you have that, and ultimate, it can be even higher on priority than cooldowns. But yeah, this is how we do it. So this has a good position, has cooldowns being used, thrown at them. I want to support that more. This only has good position, so only one check mark. And that's how you decide constantly. That is something what we'll talk about later, because yeah, we and this woman is gonna be more healing oriented, but yeah. A lot of bubbles being placed as well for them so they can survive. But yeah, they kind of keep this off angle option, keep just potential to distract the enemy team so they go on them. Yeah, as much as possible, abusing the map layout, trying to maybe dodge something if the enemy goes on them. There is no Mantis replay, right? Is it possible to play Mantis into Strategist comms? I think it's possible. I think some people doing that. To be honest, you gotta keep in mind the ultimate's been nerfed at the moment, so it's slightly different. But yeah, you can. I prefer her playstyle. Yeah, you prefer Mantis playstyle the most over the main healers, being able to play more aggressively. Yeah, actually, by myself, I also prefer that too. And even on the other supports still, if you have more healing oriented supports, there's still times you gotta apply the pressure, even though from numbers perspective might be not the best, but still you gotta do that. There's just more value. I'm constant switching between the damage and healing. I farm my ultimate faster. It's just even from ult standpoint, it's really important. Okay, guys, I think I want us to watch the another replay. There's just gonna be one more on this woman because I was mostly focused on highly mobile character. There is really mobile, and there is something what you guys can do on the mobile. But what about less mobile? What about more stationary? Let's talk about that. The ideas will be the same though. The ideas will be the same, but it's just kind of want to give two perspectives. Yeah, or what do you do with your positioning? Absolutely, with Mantis, she damage boosts other players also. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think Mantis is good. Mantis is fine in the triple support. Let me see. So the player I'm gonna review is this guy. It's Cyper. Who is Cyper? They're Overwatch League player. Really good. And it seems like they're playing support now. They actually been DPS player in Overwatch, but apparently really good on support. The KDA's insane there as well. Maybe not as much playtime, but I'm confident they're doing really well most of the time in terms of all the concepts, and the win rate shows as well. The 83%, even though it's just 11 hours, I think it's really impressive. There are also some other players, some other good players, but I don't recognize the names. I only recognize some from Overwatch. This guy, well, this seems somebody I know as well, but if it's familiar name, nickname, but I'm not sure. Sape I know 100%. Let me see. The replay is this. And the video is gonna be saved as well. Okay, I'm gonna exit this. Was wondering what your take on Warlock as strategist isn't the current meta. To be honest with you, I was not following the meta fully, just regarding what character to swap, what not. I think Warlock brings a lot to the table in terms of the pressure, though, in terms of the damage. So what you can try to do is, because I have the Warlock, I can also have the other triple supports, because Wavi had the triple support in the first places, because the ultimate is really strong. So you're just constantly able to sustain, kind of farm the ultimate, go in again, farm the ultimate, go in again. And it was the same thing, again, just to relate to Overwatch, there was Goat's meta. It's just constantly trying to cycle the ultimates. And the support's been changed depending on how much people been figuring out. Let's say we figure out, oh, suddenly more damage-oriented support is really good, or more healing-oriented support is really good. That's how it's been shifted a lot. Obviously, there are also number tweaks, like the tweak numbers on one character, there are tweak numbers on another, and then suddenly we just run that support. That's how it is, usually. That's how it happens. So I would definitely think if you bring some damage value to the table, then other supports could also try to do something more support just more kind of directly healing support oriented, stronger ultimates in terms of just push and pull, because his ultimate is not as good in terms of push and pull. So I'm not sure. Like, I don't like the ult, but well, it's just with that comp at least. Like, if you're pushing and pulling, I think it feels a little bit clunky sometimes. But yeah, I think it can work well though overall. Works this in the well into supports comps if you have Luna and Weezwoman. Yeah, that's what I think too. Those guys are more healing oriented, and you can pretty much have the sword support like damage oriented. Yeah, maybe I could even have something like Loki, or I could just even this is third Jeff. Yeah, now they're more damage oriented there. They've been playing with them Weezwoman and Luna as well. Yeah, not enough healing. Two supports comp with Mantis, not as much. Okay, let's watch the Invis Woman, and I think we will discuss the same ideas again. Okay, so this is Cyper. Let me see. Yeah, so this is them. Overall, there's gonna be a lot talk about how we are enabling the big pressure. So again, if you remember, this is the most important slide. That's all you gotta know on support is enable or disable activity. On Jav, there's been a lot about how to disable, force out the attention. You can also do the same on Invis Woman, but you don't have active you don't have as much mobility, but you still need to open up the angles. You still, because you have the support capabilities, you still have the defensive resources to stay alive. Force the action to happen. Like, don't wait for the action to happen. Force an enemy to do something, so use your double jump and get away, or try to also use your the other resources, like even just simple healing. Also use that because you're on the angle. Let me see. Yeah, we're just gonna watch through the resource perspectives though, what they do. Okay. So, by the way, who they got as well? They got Fincy. This is Overwatch League player. Fi is Overwatch League, and Sparker is Overwatch League as well. They have a really stacked team. Do I know anybody on the enemy? I don't know those guys. Leolas and Remilia. I don't know those guys. But yeah, this seems like the numbers are loading, so the nicknames are loading. There's somebody typing the question? Okay, I will read it later. Okay, let's go back. Gotta talk about the kit real quick. Again, I mentioned you don't have as much mobility, but you have strong defensive opportunities, so we can support the most active angles, try to put more attention towards them. And who we're gonna support most likely? Well, I'm thinking maybe somebody like Fi, initially Sparker, because they will try to take more aggressive angle, and then look at my front line later. The thing is more kind of brawl-oriented tank. You also have some dive capabilities with them. Fincy, they are trying to play kind of closer to their core, but still able to take extra angle of attack. Don't forget you have the shift, so you can try to go somewhere up depending on situation. You can try to take an off angle this way, and this is what this guy I think is really good at too. They recognize the opportunities to take an angle. But yeah, first off, just kind of break this, yeah, just for extra vision, it's fine. And put in the pressure, I mean, just enabling the pressure on the angle. Who takes an angle? This guy to the left, they're going for an off angle while the Strange at the front line. Strange does not need healing, so we keep the attention on this. We keep the attention on the guys on the left. Sparker and Fi, first of all, making sure enable them. Once those guys are enabled, and I know there's some opportunities for me to shoot the enemy as well. I'm pretty much doing that. As in this woman, what you need to have to force the action to happen is open up long range sideline. Make sure the guys are you able to see your team and able to see the enemy while having that long sideline. Open up the angle first. Isn't you hit a name feature? Oh, you're right. By the way, sometimes it does not work. Sometimes I was still able to see the names. I don't know how, but And see, this is really nice long sideline. See how they lean towards the left, not just stacked on the right side, which would be short angle like this. A lot of people do that. They just kind of keep playing behind. I think this guy is like, maybe can create an extra angle over here. No, I still think they have to lean towards the left, even on Luna. Yeah, I would like to open up the angle and then move towards this side a little. But yeah, Sapper, they open up the angle, and watch what they do with the E as well. It's not E but shift, sorry. With the shift, what you're aiming to do is try to deny any pressure, like any activity from the enemy angle. So maybe I have this guy on A pushing me and this guy on B pushing me. If they break through in my zone where most of my team is able to do damage, ideally you place your shift behind them, so you kind of keep them trapped in the area. So these guys have no choice. They either have a choice to just go forward and take damage from the rest of us, or they are just gonna take damage from the shift. They just gonna take damage from this ability. So this is just constantly putting the attention on the most active guys, at the same time enabling most active pressure. See how they instantly recognize that enemy Wolverine is using his abilities, and they put the extra pressure towards the Fincy. I mean, extra support towards the Fincy. And watch this. Watch this little thing. This is what you're really good at as an Invis-Woman. Your E is either able to pull in or pull out the enemies. So again, I'm pulling in or out the enemy aggression. That's all you gotta know. Or enemy activity. Yeah. So this is activity based on the cooldowns, position, and this is activity as well. Right, but this is more dangerous because this does more pressure. So I need to E this. I will not E that Hulk, or I will not E that. This does nothing towards my team right now. This is more important, and this is how your thought process should be. And he obviously pulls out. Yeah, he just pushes these guys away. Okay. We keep that long-range sideline going, supporting the most active member. They switch between just either Sparker or this angle on the right. Okay, Fi. Yeah, Fi goes more deeper. They go deep, and now we can put more attention on them. Yeah, they definitely need to keep the range from the rest of the... Something like Wolverine can easily catch them. You want to be careful. Trying to disrupt them. I think it's fine. Probably not the best. I'm not sure they should disrupt them now, but let me see. I would rather just wait for them to make the action, so kind of for this guy get closer first and then use the E. I think that would be the better play, but they still kind of... I think it's good enough too. That push wasn't great. Yeah, you're talking about that one. Yeah, I think it just rather... trying to just push when the action is about to happen, because there's something what might happen now and you don't have E, even though it's short cooldown. So yeah, it's kind of more forgiving though. But okay, what about the shift? Another thing what it can do with the shift is actually try to get a kill opportunity. So if I know there's active angle, maybe there's A, there's B, they're pushing me, yes, I can put shift in the choke, but sometimes if I'm really confident I can get a kill, I can also place the shift and just let the damage stick a little, and then I shoot the guy. I shoot the guy and he's getting killed. So I think that's what they're trying to do here. That's what exactly they're aiming to do. This guy's dead. This guy has no abilities, right? Oh wait, do they have the passive still? Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, they still have the passive, but this is still really huge. If you force out the passive, then it's already... Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I think they... Yeah, exactly. So they got the passive. Yeah, so this is really huge. It's their second life, and you can pretty much also don't worry about them for the next fight too. Okay, what about that one? What's that? So how do we identify that we need to just pull that out? Okay, we have those guys on the ground. We have this and we have Hulk. What's more dangerous right now? You see that? This is more dangerous, I think, because there's a line of sight. There's a lot of damage capabilities as well. I just don't want this damage to exist. I want this damage to potentially make sure it's displaced. And see, actually pulling that in. They're not pulling that out, because if you're trying to pull out, then this guy, this Lunar Snow, they would still maintain the angle. I'll let this angle kind of pull that towards us, so it's gonna stay on the ground, similar to Winter Soldier, similar to Wolverine, and it's not dangerous anymore. Those angles you need to pull towards your team if possible, especially the long range. Deny high ground, yeah. Deny the angles, deny high ground. Really well timed as well. Armed and dangerous, invis ult. See, just like that. But this requires strong game sense. This requires really, really strong game sense. When something happens, because I'm anticipating. First of all, it's all about anticipating the action, and second, it's using the ultimate. They're not good at reacting. It's just they're really good at game sense. First of all. That Baki got his ult really fast. Yeah, that's true. That's true, but the same goes for the other long-range characters too, because you just shoot. You shoot from range. Right? Well, it's not just that, but anyway. By the way, any questions? I know I've been talking a lot, but yeah, any questions about any of that? Someone is counting enemy win conditions, unlike some people I know. Yeah, actually, we talked about it with you today. It's just about the ultimates. But remember, it's the good starting point. Just track their 2 ultimates. Just start tracking one of their roles and think how to deny them. But first of all, think about, yeah, so it's not just use your ult proactively, but think how to bait. And this is what I tell people. You play support, think how to bait people. Think how to bait their cooldowns. Think how to bait their actions, just ultimates even. And, well, what can I do as Inviswoman to bait this guy to do an ultimate? Well, I could just shoot. I could just shoot this guy simply. Or maybe I can just try to, well, use my teammates as a bait. This also can be a strategy. But yeah, and really, this can work, because this guy's low, the ultimate's being popped, and they probably expect that. Armed and dangerous for the low guy, well, probably trying to finish them. So this is really good deny. This is huge. Okay, see how they recognize the tempo as well. These guys are using the ultimates kind of to try to get the tempo back. I don't think it's possible, though. 2 people versus 4 could be manageable, because there are 2 ultimates right now, and we not using any. Yeah, so maybe there's a chance they can turn it around, so we have to be careful. See how they instantly lean towards an angle, trying to just make sure this guy will not get them. Yeah, they're using extra verticality once it's possible. Something we talked about on Jeff, yeah? Use your mobility, right? But here we don't have as much mobility, so at least we just kind of physically walk on the angle. Walk on the long range angles. Alright, so we keep up the attention. Oh, sorry, there was something? Something I heard. If there was a question, feel free to unmute. Yeah, I can answer. But yeah, for now, just kind of deny the most aggressive angle. Probably have to just push them back a little, because we gotta capture the point. And yeah, this guy's still trying to recontest. I don't think they're able to be honest. We have better ult economy here, so we just clear that. Yeah. Now we will need to take some space. Again, long sidelines. Think about opening up. Yeah, constantly opening up the sidelines a little bit more. Once the doors are going to be open, we just need to farm an extra ultimate charge, yeah? So we're not waiting. We're setting up first. And also breaking this, just for the sake of, to take an angle, right? You just need that extra angle of pressure there too. Okay, so right there, because there's nothing to do, obviously we can enable the most aggressive guys, but meanwhile I can also try to stack the damage. Yeah, so I see the Hulk there, maybe I can see somebody over there. I can just try to push with the damage, open up the angle also to do that. Once somebody from my teammates they receive pressure, they kind of, their health goes towards the critical. I can start healing them as well. Yeah, just pushing the back, because we want that high ground there. We want to try to make sure it's our powerful position. We can manage to use that later. Okay, a lot of attention. See how they really manage. They're switching between the guys. I want you to see they're not healing the guys full either. So see, this guy, Fi, receives a lot of pressure currently. But because they recognize the cooldown's being used on him. He is critical. They start using healing, but later their attention goes right towards the Sparker, and this guy's not fully healed up. And that's totally fine, because your first attention should go towards the most active member. It shouldn't just be you healing everything. You just pay attention to the most effective member first, and you're gonna be fine. And then later you can heal up anybody else. This guy, first of all, it's about the activity, yeah? They're really in the front line, so I want to make sure they're alive. Now it's the tank who's in the front line, so I keep them alive more. And later I can maybe heal up somebody else who is low as well, but not participating. So it's a little bit unfortunate with, I think, they can try to just maintain a little bit more range, maybe stay here at least. But other than that, I think they're doing really decent. I really like how they just switch between the healing, switching between the damage, and yeah, really, really impressive. Okay, let's skip that. So we have to just watch them again, how they're gonna push. Yeah, just retain the space. Okay, so pretty much pushing forward, healing the most aggressive member there, and this early shift, okay. So something I'm thinking about is what you can do in Syria with your shift here as well is try to fire ult charge early, but they have their ult, so I'm not sure about using it right now, to be honest. You could try to anticipate this angle walks, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's too great of a value. I'd rather use the shift once the action happens. Yeah, once most of my teammates are able to do something, and then we just use that, yeah? But anyway, to be honest, even the boss players, you will never see the perfect play all the time. But I just trying to explain like the reasoning. Yeah, I'm thinking, what if the fight happens now? I have the shift and just either for the kill opportunity or place it behind the most aggressive angle now. I think it's slightly better. Like there. What if I place the shift right there? I think it opens up a lot of opportunities. Yeah, I think that's one of my problems when I play support. I see health bar below 100%, I drop everything. Yeah, exactly. I know that. And I know that 7 years when I've been coaching people, that's been the same problem. People telling me, I'm trying to heal up this guy full. No, you should heal up the most active pressure and just have the triggers. Understand why this pressure is active. So it can be one based on the position. Yeah, position. Another, it can be based on what cooldowns are being used. Maybe it's ultimates as well. Just kind of do those check marks, check mark here, check mark there, and decide what angle I'm supporting. Obviously, HP is another check mark, but this is not the most important. Well, it's important, but just think about activity and who is critical as well. Try to support them.
I have a question while you're at this
yeah?
film right here.
Yeah.
So you were saying earlier that the place to the right would have been a good place for like that person to take an angle.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because it's a longer sideline.
Yeah. So because when the Wolverine was using his ultimate, since they had their ultimate, they could have dropped it, right, and saved everybody from that, or no? And they could have gotten control back of the card if
Yeah,
they were taking the angle.
Possibly, yeah, well, I think it's a lot to do, not necessarily about the angle, but it's also about anticipation. I think most of it is about anticipation. It's just, if I'm anticipating big stuff to happen, then it's easier for me to use ultimate like they did with the Bucky. It's just sometimes it's still hard to do, to be honest, especially with fast-paced ultimates. But yeah, angle can open up your opportunities to kind of see more information, and I think just do the sharper pressure, yeah, because I know I'm pressuring. So instead of me sitting here where this guy's able to hide around the corner almost instantly, can I open up and hide, and hide here? I can just sit on the right side, and then if these guys are hiding, they still continuously receive pressure from me because this is sharper sideline. On any long range support, it's always nice if I open up the sidelines this way, so it's like longer range oriented. So for example, here, I push this street, I wouldn't sit here, I would try to open up the sideline maybe this way, so I also see that turn on the left. So maybe if the payload takes the turn to the left, I'd take the turn to the right. I think it's always, yeah, always easier this way. Yeah, hope that makes sense, yeah.
It does, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's keep watching. Okay, so there's a lot of actions going on. The enemy team is pushing up with Luna Snow. So this is what we're trying to pull back because of it. Yeah, because there's action from the enemy team. I'm trying to just give them a little bit more space so we are able to stabilize. But I just need to maintain my longer range angle. Yeah, while supporting the most active, and also see the small things with the E they do. Yeah, they kind of pull out because they're in. I want them out. Yeah, because they have the advantage with the ultimate. I don't want that advantage to happen to my team. I want that out of my teammates. Yeah, but let's say that would be other way around. Let's say we are using the ultimate right now. I would like to pull those guys in to me because now we have an advantage. There's a big difference always. Yeah, we're trying to just, and that's probably what they will do later. Once they have an advantage, I just want to catch the moment. Probably will catch the right moment and we'll look at it. Yes, now they still at a disadvantage, so they have to just push back. But no, yeah. Okay, so this is the time. This is the time where once we get our E, they probably will try to pull something in. But let's watch. I think it highly depends on the situation. Okay, so we keep up the pressure. By the way, your shots can go through multiple people. This is something you guys gotta keep in mind. That's why opening up the angle, opening up the angles this way, so we're able to shoot the corners more, and the enemies around the corners is so crucial. Okay, watch this. What they done to this guy? Are they pulling them in? Yeah, exactly. They're trying to. Let me see. I cannot recognize clearly visually. Okay, so this is playing out, and yeah, they're trying to dash. Yeah, exactly. So they're trying to pull them in, and see, just because we have an advantage, we're trying to pull them towards us now. Yeah, good representation right there for you. Okay, this is something we probably would like to pull out, but we don't have E, so it's fine. But we should be winning. We have big numbers advantage anyway. We should be winning already. Okay, so there is quite a lot. I know we only watched 6 minutes, but yeah, any questions about all of that? So I think pretty much I would like to summarize. With the next masterclass, by the way, I probably will watch more replays, but today I just wanted to kind of purely focus on those ideas give you 2 big examples, and yeah, if there are gonna be any questions, you can just ask me. Yeah, but let's start. Maybe if you guys have any questions about what's been mentioned, just message in the chat or unmute. How do you guys understood this material? Yeah, maybe something was not clear? Okay, silence in class. No, it's fine. I think it was very helpful. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would just kind of summarize then, yeah? To give you an idea, so those are quick notes, yeah? Those are quick notes I made right now. So we just need to pay attention to disabling or enabling activity. This is it. This is your formula. I will make it bigger even. This is going to be our doc, yeah? You can also watch that later. This is your formula. That's it. You go in a game, disable or enable activity. And activity can be based on positioning, cooldowns, or ultimates. Okay, so your first exercise can be, let's try to pay attention to positioning of my teammates and help them, or let's pay attention to positioning of enemy and disable them. To be honest, would start with disable strategy, because you still playing the shooter game, and overall the damage output outweighs the healing. It still outweighs the healing on the paper. Kind of, if we keep shooting each other, you're gonna kill something eventually. The game evolves around just kind of shooting people, yeah? Okay? By the way, guarding positioning, just watch people taking off angles, watch people taking flanks or frontline. Yeah, I would also maybe write down that. Frontline is important. Ways to disable an enemy: do damage, pressure towards activity, like we said, and try to distract an enemy through proactive positioning. Even though you don't have a lot of mobility, you're still able to do so. And if you have mobility, then yeah, you can just take deeper angles. The more mobility you have, the deeper angle you can take. By the way, any of you guys, if you've watched the masterclass on angles, then really just watch that as well one more time. There was good example of Rocket Raccoon. I think I reviewed the Fran. There is something what you can do as well, just regarding your proactive positioning, try to take those angles more. Yeah, just all the ideas mentioned there. Ways to enable, just enable your teammates based on activity. Yeah, so pretty much watching, are they doing something? Are they doing something based on the criteria here? And then you paying attention to critical HP as well, but that shouldn't be your first priority. All the games are here. By the way, I recorded the videos for you so you can rewatch them if you're gonna lose the replay. And that's it. Also, I'm using those examples in my sessions. And if you want to have a session, just message me too. But yeah, I think that's it. Any questions? Any final questions? Same, I've realized I need to make more supports to be flexible. Solid session. Yeah, I'm glad to be helpful. And I will present more materials later. Hopefully, I think the next masterclass I will try to do more what reviews as well, because there's been quite a lot of sessions sitting there. Yeah, kind of a lot of replays. But yeah, I'm gonna have another session soon, and yeah, you guys still can message me with any questions later.